Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are having a little bit of fun. We are going to be in the Iowa in the first game and the Missouri in the second game. And so I've got a couple fun videos for you guys to check out. One is going to be the Iowa and my team is going to be less than ideal. And the other one is in the Missouri in something that can only be described as a lightning round. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be all the things that you just know and love about World of Warships Legends. And, yeah, with that being said, let's get this party started. Iowa, Estuary, my favorite map, my favorite ship. What more can you ask for? Am I right? Now, with that being said, we have a cruiser on my right who is honking his horn 20 seconds into the match, so you know he's going to be the best player on the team. It's fantastic, as you know. Anybody who does that just immediately loses all of my confidence in their abilities. And they have to work pretty hard to get it back. Now, we are spotted. There are 3 destroyers on the enemy team. Big surprise. This is the way it goes. Now, our Atlanta is pushing forward. Our Akatsuki, however, is not in the game. Because the destroyer players, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, destroyer players have a tendency to not exist until, like, at least a minute into the match. At the very minimum. Every destroyer player that spawns next to me almost always AFKs the first minute. Because, I mean, they're the most important spotters in the game with no carriers. And they can do all the things as far as moving up and capturing bases and putting pressure on. But why would they push up? And as you can see, because of this, I have decided that this side is with Jesus. I'm not getting any spotting. My Atlanta is taking up a position behind the island, even though there's clearly a destroyer in Alpha. The destroyer is not doing anything, so I am not going to stick around and wait for the torpedoes to arrive. I am going to, however, put myself in position to try my dangest. That's me censoring myself. Hello, Yang. How's it going? Let's go ahead and put a shot out there. Obviously, just the rear gun's going to get through. Are we going to hit him? He's kind of turned out. I don't think so. But this Atlanta struggling to hit the Lo Yang for reasons, I'm sure. You know, I always find it difficult to hit something with a machine gun at, 7 kilometers too. But it's something to be said about the person who toots his horn at the beginning of the match. Now, obviously, there's a Scharnhorst coming in. So me being in the Iowa, I don't want to charge a Oh, speaking of torpedoes, hello, Jervis. How's it going? As we get 5 overpins on that man and hit him for 7,200 damage. That hurt. Guaranteed. Now, obviously, torpedoes going to be on route. Luckily for us, that Scharnhorst only has 283mm guns and is unlikely to citadel even a mostly broadside Iowa. So, now we are angled away. We should be relatively safe from the torpedoes of both the Scharnhorst and the Jervis, and we are getting ourselves further away from the threat while maintaining, oh my god, speaking of the devils, there they are. Jervis, dang you! Come on, Iowa, turn the booty! Dang it! Dang it! We took 2 of them! We took 2! Luckily for us, he stacked the rest of them, and those have no chance. So you gotta love that. But, we're gonna fire the rear guns at the Scharnhorst here and showcase just how little I can do to the front of a Scharnhorst, even though I should be able to overmatch. I know I can, but it depends on where the armor, or where the shells decide they want to hit. He's pretty close, inside 6 kilometers. I'm aiming a little too low here, but that's because he's coming at me, and there you get the overmatch that I was looking for. 10,000 damage through the bow of a ship is definitely preferable. He turns out, we've got the rear guns, and we leave him with just enough to get burned down by the Richelieu. Now this Richelieu and I say Richelieu, this is not the actual Richelieu yet. This is a cruiser helping get rid of this guy in the name of the Ochakov. Our Akatsuki, still not playing, by the way. Don't know if you noticed. And our Atlanta managed to die immediately. And didn't take anybody with him. Big surprise. Our Akatsuki is being shot at by their Akatsuki, who has now spotted him. And because he's not playing, he is not contributing anything other than spotting the enemy ship, which is actually preferable because this is going to allow me to get some shots into this enemy Akatsuki. Or at least it would if my Iowa would allow me to hit the frickin' guy instead of putting one shell conveniently on one side of the ship and two shells conveniently on the other side of the ship. Wouldn't want to have them actually hit the thing that I'm aiming at. That would be insanity. But we take a shot with the front guns, and yeah, we get a much better result this time, getting 3 over-penetrations for a nice little chunk. Now, up to this point, we haven't really done a whole lot except eat torpedoes and run away from a Scharnhorst. But we've got 26,000 damage. The game is not looking good. They still have all of their destroyers. We only have 1. That being said, we do have an Ochakov, and as long as this Ochakov doesn't do anything incredibly stupid, like take on a Massachusetts from very close range, we should be okay at helping get rid of this Massachusetts. He appears to be coming forward. It should be a nice little chance to get rid of the man, but you know, when I say he shouldn't necessarily engage a Massachusetts at close range, I do mean that he should not engage a Massachusetts at close range. Don't know if he actually got a torpedo hit, but what is he going to get for his trouble? He's going to get smashed. He just lost all of his hit points just like that. And unfortunately, he's also going to eat torpedoes, and down he goes. Which is less than ideal. I think you would all agree. We've got a Massachusetts barreling down on us. We have an Akatsuki who just doesn't care anymore. He realizes that there's not a whole lot I can do to him at this point. I've got to attack the guy who has my basic broadside in mind. We get a very nasty salvo. 16,000 damage on that Massachusetts right there. Hey, can you not be laying on your horn out there, buddy? Appreciate it. I'm trying to record video.
I need support.
Good Lord. Like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, we have a Massachusetts barreling down on our, I would say broadside, but I'm angled at this point. He's trying to capture the base, which is not preferable. That's denying us cap points, which could come in real freaking handy later in this match. But we have to try to stop him. I can't turn in. And by the way, you may have noticed his name is Ian B. We do know this guy. He actually watches the channel. I've seen him multiple times. But it was a pretty interesting situation. Baltimore is thinking about coming out, but we are going to keep him in the closet for now. We're going to focus this Massachusetts, who is bow tanking me, but we do have a friend in the neighborhood who is basically getting his broadside at this point, and he absolutely lays into him. Which is perfect, because this is going to allow me to turn in. Notice his guns are no longer looking at me, which means I can turn in and get my bow pointed in the right direction. Or at least I would be able to if it wasn't for the fact that this destroyer is cock-blocking me. Alright, that's the only way I could say it. Like, I want to get bow in. Okay, we're good. We're good. We can officially turn bow in. And we actually hit the Massachusetts, who survives for now, somehow. Why would there be a smokescreen in the cap next to the Massachusetts, and how could he survive with that little health? Let's do the math. There is a destroyer in the cap, aka the Jervis. We already knew this. He's smoking up the Massachusetts, and he is keeping the Massachusetts alive with will to rebuild. But the Massachusetts fires his guns, and this is inevitably going to lead to his immediate removal from this match. I say that as I do not remove him from the match. Big surprise. Now, we have pretty much damage saturated his superstructure, which is not good considering he's still being willed to rebuild. But we have a battleship coming back. We actually have 2 battleships coming back to help us. And so there's that. And one of them has a pretty good shot at him. And this guy keeps looking at everyone but me. And eventually, I will get a good shot to hit him and take him down. And there we have it. Only got 2 shatters that time, 3 penetrations, and the Akatsuki comes out just begging for it. So it was actually the Akatsuki in the base helping to keep that Massachusetts alive. And so he pulls out, gets into a crossfire between 4 battleships, including a Richelieu, who was already loaded and looking at him, and gets absolutely annihilated by the Tirpitz of secondaries. Now, the Alabama over there doesn't have a lot of health. Neither do our teammates. We are actually radared by the Baltimore right now, and so you can kind of get an idea of where we're thinking as we lose our turbines to the Jervis's torpedoes. Okay, that gives me a pretty good idea of where the Jervis is located. We know where the Jervis is now because he's right here next to us. And he just launched his torpedoes, so he is no threat to us. And he goes down by the Richelieu. And so you can see, I give the thank you and GG's. We're going to move into the cap to try to contest this and also potentially cap this base so that we can get the points heading in our favor. Because currently we are winning, but it could be gone at any moment. And you can see I want to get rid of the heavy-hitting battleship while we have a chance, but he gets turned in before I can actually hit him because he popped in and out of existence 3 times in like 1.5 seconds. We get a good hit on him, hit that superstructure nice, but unfortunately neither of the other 2 guys in a position to take a good shot at him apparently. The one guy is in full retreat mode, which is not preferable, because we actually need him at this point to be pushing forward to help get rid of these guys. I am getting into the cap. I am going to be getting some hopeful flank shots. We've got a good shot at the Lo Yang here. Beautiful look. And he turns in, but we are able to actually punch him for 2 overpins and leave him with, you know, under 5,000 health. He's probably got about 3,000 health left. We're looking at the Baltimore. We're looking at the Champagne. And unfortunately, not able to get a shot at that Champagne. Unfortunately. But I would love to get a shot at the Champagne and finish him off. Our plane is officially gone, and we have no way of shooting him. Now, we have 2 battleships that are sitting back, and we have me pushing forward to deal with this Balti. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I anticipated a one-shot dev strike against this Baltimore, who is clearly right in this channel at less than 10 kilometers, begging to be absolutely removed by my guns that overmatch him, right? Look at this shot. Look at this. You can't ask for a better shot. Not even bad dispersion. But we only get 1. We get 5 overpins and 1 Citadel hit. Because he's a bad player. And bad players get all of the protection. I don't know why. I don't know why. If that's me in my Baltimore, I'm back at port 30 seconds ago. Like, there's no way that I survived that hit. But, and look, he's like, oh, I got just Citadel'd and smashed for all of my health. I am now going to turn my backside to him and make it even easier to Citadel him. But, of course, this time we don't get a Citadel. Wonder why that is. Is it because this guy has no freaking idea what he's doing? Probably. And then the Lo Yang comes out. Now, obviously, Lo Yang comes in with an emergency smoke screen to protect the Balti, which is a huge team play, but is probably going to end up costing this Lo Yang his life, because we know where he's at. We see him firing his gun still, and while I could shoot the Balti, I'm going to take the shot at the destroyer. And of course, I leave the destroyer alive. I hit him. I got a full penetration and an overpin, and the man still lives with less than 3,000 hit points. Explain this to me. Explain to me how bad players get so much RNG on their side. I wish I knew this. I do. I wish I knew. But no. Fortunately, this Baltimore, still a bad player, still doing everything in his power to throw for his team, is sitting there waiting to die, and finally the game lets me kill him. Now, obviously we're losing the batch. I can't sit here and cap this. We have less than 2 minutes to go. I need to get in here and try to find these guys and murder them so that we have a chance of winning this match. The Champagne is shooting us from over the map. You can see I am trying to shoot into the smoke screen, and the game, for whatever reason, is like, no, he's clearly shooting halfway to the smoke screen. That's where he wants his shot to go. But yeah, clearly I get screwed out of that. I dodged the inevitable torpedoes that we knew were coming. Those were obvious from the get-go. And he is still firing his guns at us. Now again, I am not alone in this fight. There is a Richelieu right behind me who has yet to fire his f***ing guns. He's sitting right next to me, refusing to fire his freaking guns. Now obviously, I know that there is a battleship on the other side of that smoke screen. I'm not an idiot, which is why I'm angled as well as I can be with my butt facing the enemy. This is the opposite of a Claymore, right? Now, he comes out, he is over-angled, but he is swinging in. We take the shot, trying to go through the bow side plating. We get a couple of penetrations, and he gets an absolute unit of a shot. And, of course, the destroyer double fires me on his first salvo after I'd already DC'd, of course. But it's okay, because we get one more shot at the guy, and we get to take him down. And that puts us very close to winning this match. Now, I am willed to rebuilding, but I am a double fire, so I'm going to be losing that. So I take the shot, again, trying to go through that bow side plating. We knock out one of his guns temporarily, but he does get the other one off and finishes us off. Now, we are solidly losing this fight, and neither of these two battleships are willing to actually engage to do anything other than sit here. There is less than 20 seconds left. If they kill the battleship, we have a chance, but they're not going to. They're literally just going to sit here with their thumbs up their backside, doing absolutely nothing to help the team win this match. And look, the Bismarck is telling the Richelieu to get back. Yes, get back with 1 second left on the clock and we're losing the match. Get back, guys. Get back. I love teammates. 128,000 damage, top of the leaderboard. Richelieu does come in second. Bismarck, who is telling everybody to get back and spent the last 4 minutes of that match running away, does nothing for the team. Go figure. Now, that being said, while all of the frustration of teammates and just not having a whole lot of fun goes to the wayside, we move on to the Mighty Mo, the Missouri. And we are going to have what we can only call a lightning round. This is one of those rounds where everything goes in your favor and absolutely nothing goes in the enemy's favor. So after we just had the RNG of nightmares at the end of the last match and not being able to remove a Balti quickly and not being able to get a shot at the Champagne because I just fired my guns at the Lo Yang, all those things coming to fruition, this one is going to be the complete opposite. And it's another Iowa-class battleship. Some would argue slightly better because it has radar. Even though the radar really is only useful in very specific situations. Like if somebody's sitting in a fucking smoke screen at 4 kilometers away from you and you shoot him and you leave him with no health left because you obviously have to, right? You hit him with 2 shells, he had less than 3,000 hit points, a full penetration and an overpin, and somehow that doesn't add up to 3,000 hit points to kill the man. But I digress. Radar comes in very handy in those sorts of situations. It really does. But at the same time, those situations don't happen all that often. But what does come in handy more often than not? The Missouri and its accuracy. I said in my Meet the Missouri video that I thought that the Missouri and the Iowa had very comparable accuracy, and they pretty much do, but I think that the Missouri has slightly better overall accuracy. This is just based on the few dozen matches that I played in the Missouri during the week that I had it. I do not currently own the Missouri due to the fact that I don't have the 30,000 steel required, because you would have to be an absolute unit of a player buying out all of the campaigns to have the Missouri at this point. We take an absolute juicy salvo at the Peter Bag, and of course we don't get a Citadel because even though it has a raised Citadel, it's Russian and therefore we're not allowed to Citadel it. Until we are, in which case he goes down. But that's, I don't know. Cruisers, I don't get it. I don't understand why cruisers get so much leeway. Like, I know that it takes more skill to play a cruiser well than it does to play a battleship or a destroyer well, as we finally get our Citadel that should have happened on the first salvo, which should have been a dev strike. But even with all of that in mind, the game gives bad players overpins against them. I don't know why. Iowa, broadside on, begging for it. Will he get his just rewards? Let's find out. Wait for it. Yeah, he gets one. He gets one. We get 3 full penetrations, a Citadel, and an overpin. And he is still, well, he's about to go forward. You can see him stopping his reverse. He is about to go forward. We're about to have the rear turret of justice on him. And just in time for him to go forward, and look at that dispersion after that beautiful dispersion on the last one. But we still get 2 hits on him. A pin and an overpin. And then we get the front guns away, and he is going to turn away. Probably not going to get much out of this, yeah. Not going to get a whole lot out of that. But then we see Colorado broadside on in front of us. Absolutely begging for it. We've got Scharnhorst on the left, who is turning towards us a little bit. This game could tip at any moment. It feels like it could tip towards the enemy's favor at any moment. But, you know, Iowa's not getting away. We're not going to take the chance, and you can see one ricochet, even though I'm shooting at the superstructure. Love to figure out how that works. But he goes down from the front guns. Now, we are broadside to this Scharnhorst, but he's not paying attention. So do I want to get his attention by shooting at him? No. I'm going to instead turn my attention to this Colorado, who is now shooting at me, and is also broadside to me. Now, anybody who has ever played the Colorado knows that you don't go broadside to anybody, let alone anybody with 16-inch guns, and he should be going back to port on the express train, but unfortunately, only one. You only get one. And then he keeps on just proving that bad players get the best RNG. I don't know why. Amagi, on the other hand, comes out behind the island, destined to prove that he's worse than the Colorado. He comes out full broadside, absolutely begging for it, in a Tier 7 battleship, and gets smashed for his efforts. But only one! Only one, guys. And then I'm like, okay, well, I would love to shoot the Colorado, but the Colorado's about to go behind the island, so I guess I will keep shooting this broadside Amagi. I mean, I've got so many choices of broadside targets to choose from. I can't imagine why I'm already up to 122,000 damage, and I can't imagine why this team folded so fast. It's crazy to think that if you just sail around broadside in battleships and cruisers, that somebody will eventually get their just rewards and be able to citadel you, as the Colorado takes all of the torpedoes and dies. Because reasons. Now, I hope you guys have been enjoying this as much as I have. You can see I hit the freaking radar here for no reason whatsoever. Honestly. It's just one of those things. I didn't need the radar, so I just punched the radar anyway. And we pull up, and look at that dispersion. You can't ask for better than that. He is angled pretty decently. He's firing HE at us. He gets three fires on us, and we immediately damage Con and smile at him as we shoot another salvo of armor piercing back at him and knock out one of his turrets. Now, he's got turtleback armor, not quite as effective as the German's turtleback, but pretty solid turtleback armor, so at these ranges you're not expecting to citadel him, so you're aiming a little bit high, trying to get those penetrations rather than going for the citadel. And again, he fires at us with HE, and we just continue to smile at him as we turn out once more to get the rear turret of justice on him. Are we going to get the kill? They managed to leave him alive with just enough for me to yoink him. And it's not really a yoink because I did most of the damage. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this lightning round. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little salt, but yet not salt. Just, you know, I guess it would be a kind of a, what do you call that, Himalayan sea salt or something like that. I forget. But yeah, I'm not rich, so I don't know all that stuff. But 2,265 base XP in that match. 3 kills, 158,000 damage. Not too shabby for a lightning round. So, if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.